birthday gifts, I might and get them. And if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you're attending a funeral, you're bereaved, whatever it is that you may be going through today or you may be celebrating, the Lord be with you. So last week we started a conversation. We said schools, studies, sex, and beyond. And the focus had been on our teenagers, who are in secondary schools for that matter. And we're talking about this is in relation to their sexual activities with their peers, their teachers, even with same sex. So we've been having that conversation, and it was informed by this woman who sent us a letter. And last week we talked about the letter, just a quick recap of it. She said that she went to the mall and she met a group of 4 girls who were having, conversations among themselves. And she was really amazed at the kinds of things that they were saying. They were talking about how they couldn't wait to go back to school, meet their boyfriends, how they were excited about the fact that some of their, national service teachers had been retained and all of those. And they talked about some of their friends or their mates who had chosen to to be in same-sex relationships, and that triggered something in her. So she was wondering, could and then she actually also found out from the conversations they were having that they had come into the mall and had changed into clothes. So they came from home in something different, and when they got in, they changed because their parents obviously would not approve of what they were wearing. So it got her thinking, could my children be hiding something I do not know? She went home and started investigating and found out that her 16-year-old daughter had been involved with one of the teachers from when she was 14, and they are courting and nurturing the relationship, planning that when she turns 18 they would have sex for the first time. And her 14-year-old sister is aware, but they're all keeping it a secret. And this is a child that she thinks I have brought up so well. What actually even informed the conversation was the fact that as a parent, she said she and her husband shy away from having sexually related conversations with their children. They shy away from it. So all they tell them is be good and make sure you don't do anything bad. And they assume that the children would be able to decode it, understand it, and then not do anything bad. Then they're realizing that this is the problem. Even then, she says they're unable to approach the subject because it's a very uncomfortable conversation for them. So we started the conversation last week. I'll share some of the thoughts that were shared by my guest with you last week. So, okay, so one of the thoughts, this one was from Olivia. She says, parenting is challenging and parenting is scary. This one also from Pa Kojo. It's never too late to start conversations on sex and sexual education, of course, with your children. The teacher's role is one of parenting and not one of somebody who just stands in the classroom and delivers pedagogical notes for the students to pass. Everybody has a role to play in making sure teachers play their roles effectively. This is also from Pakojo. And again, he says a lot of parents find it difficult to tackle these issues of sex and sexuality education. All children need is for someone to listen to them, and he spoke very passionately about that subject. Children are finding out things themselves, so if you parents don't engage them, other things will engage them. Peers will engage them. And this is from Nicolina Adumwa, who will be joining us via Zoom today. And she again says, I keep telling parents and teachers that of late, children want to explore. They want to find out things for themselves. So get to know what they're finding out and get to know what they want to know and then guide them. Let your children be your friends. Bring them up in such a way that they can tell you anything and everything. Then Olivia talked about how you relate to them. We're talking about the children here right from the beginning makes them feel comfortable to come to you as a parent. She again said, we need to get closer to our children. We're too distant from them. We think we're busy. and this will be the final one. We will take kids go through things they don't open up to. But as a parent, once you observe that they're not at their right space, you start finding ways to support them. So these were some of the thoughts that were shared on the show with us last week. My guests are seated here. Olivia
Hiya.
Ariel, the wellness coach.
Good morning.
Good morning. And she is a parent to teenagers. Thank you for joining us again this
Thank
morning.
you.
Safam Lord Mensa. Safam, we miss you.
Yeah, I miss you guys.
Clever,
too.
you're looking good, oh.
Thank
The
you.
way you shudder this morning.
Miss you. I'm learning from you, guys.
Pressure. Good to see you.
Same here.
Safam is a teacher. She has her own children. She deals with teenagers and, you know, everybody in the mix. So we'll be hearing. And she's very passionate. Every she's very, very, very passionate when we talk about these things. Last week she wasn't around, so she couldn't join us. But this week, she won't miss the opportunity to come and dish out a bit of her passion to us. So good to see you. MPK, who's my first external producer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Vakojo, okay, Emmanuel Ashford Affle, Mr. Emmanuel Ashford Affle. I got the name right?
Yeah, you
He
did.
is a teacher with DPS International. He teaches English language.
First language English.
Bro, for first language English.
Yes.
That's how it is said.
Yes, that's
Aye.
what it is.
Please, that is what he teaches. And if you have ever followed Spelling Bee, he is the gentleman behind it who makes the children very confident and be able to pronounce the words properly, and also, you know, be able to break the words down into proper syllables and be able to spell them.
You know these.
Oh yes, I know. I follow you like that. So welcome all of you.
Thank you. Adrian.
Now, last week, these were some of the thoughts we shared on the show. And I remember that we got to this point where we said we were going to continue today because we talked about parenting, get closer to your children, do this, do that, do this. And it looks like the whole work is at the doorstep of parents. We also talked a bit about the teachers. We will go more into them today because I have two teachers here with me today, and the roles they're supposed to play and what we should do to those ones who have decided to become thorns in our, you know, our flesh, like the evil teachers. How do we, like, you know, weed those ones off the system so that when I am seeing my child off to school, I know that they are going into another form of care other than they're going to be violated, you know. But right now, I want us to talk about the children. Some parents do good. They make the time. They have the conversations. They are praying with you. They're teaching you everything you should know. They are guiding you. But we know some of the children won't just listen. They're very recalcitrant.
Yeah.
And you actually find parents sometimes sitting down and crying because I have done all there is to do. And still, how do we handle those ones? Olivia.
Good morning. That's the big one. You threw that at me. Okay. So let me share a little bit some story about myself first, and it's about parenting and what you are sharing. I wasn't that bad girl, but I came from an authoritarian parenting, disciplinarian, my father. So you have to find your way to do what you have to do. First thing is there's generational gap in parenting. Where I came from the 70s and where my kids are in the 2000s, there's a big gap. So as a parent, you need to fix yourself in their gap to know where they are and what they are doing. But we always want them to be in our where we are coming from, and that's where the problem comes in. So my parents tells us to be good girls, stay home, don't do this. I wanted to be a model, so I actually did modeling. I did TV adverts, and my parents didn't know about it. I did cover show, I did all kinds of modeling, and I did adverts for Media Number One for Latest Form and Electoral Commission, and they saw me on TV.
I see.
But they didn't know about it. So the thing is, kids will
Please,
always,
when we finish, I want an autograph.
kids will always want to explore the area of their space at the time. And at the time, modeling was just coming up, and I had all the qualities then. I didn't need to be trained how to catwalk. I had it already. So a friend was in it, and she introduced me. And to do it, you had to go out in the evening. The shows were in the evening. My house, you can't go out in the evening. Even to go to church in the evening was a problem.
Wow.
So I had to find excuses to go out and have these shows done. So I have to go out maybe in the afternoon and end up coming late, or say I'm going to a cousin's place and end up going to do the show.
I see.
So you have to know that you can't suppress the children, especially when you don't know, you don't allow them to open up to you. I would have loved to tell my parents what I wanted to explore. And what came up for me was then, modeling was not the paying thing at the beginning. So I realized that I was spending all my money now running after the payments, after the shows. And I remember some of the advice my father gave me when he was taking me to school. And that was what made me stop going. I realized I was risking my relationship with my parents. I was always afraid when I was catwalking because I hadn't told my parents. And I was like, my father always tells us we have to be, grow up and go to school, become this, that. What I'm doing is not taking me to becoming what my dad is always been saying. So I decided it's taking too much toll on me, physically, socially, mentally. I'm lying to my parents and all that.
How
And
old were you at the time?
I was around 21,
Okay.
and I stopped. I had finished A levels then, and so I stopped. And what comes for me with your question is the kids will always find a way to do some of the things in their age. So as a parent, you need to close that gap from you being in the 70s and your children being in the 2000s and what's happening in the 2000s. That is why sometimes we find our children in the place that we do everything to let them be who we were, and they don't agree. That is what I found, because I would want to know why my child would want to do something, and it's because that's the space they find themselves in. I mean, the first time I heard my daughter say, I want to vlog, I know about blogging, but I didn't know vlogging. So I was like, what is vlogging? So she had a conversation with me and she told me what vlogging was. So now the internet is there. I Googled and I read about it and I understood it. So I gave her my support. Anytime I go out with her and she wants to maybe do the video to vlog, I know what she's doing. So the gap is where the problem is. That's why we find ourselves still trying to let them grow up the way we were brought up, but their space is different. And it's psychologically challenging. That is the other side of it. It's psychologically, emotionally, mentally challenging when we are forcing them to grow in our generational setup, when they have friends, things they are exposed to in the news, in the TV, in the phone, in this generational setup. So that gap is what creates that problem. As a parent, you consciously have to close that gap. Be honest with yourself. This is not the 70s. My child can't grow up without the phone. If I don't give him the phone, he may find ways and other ways to do. So sometimes some of the restrictions are the reasons why we have the problems we have in the homes now, Adam. The 99% of the topics we come here to share at Home Affairs come from childhood problems. And so we need to close that generational gap. I came from the 70s, they are in the 2000s. How can I understand their space now with where I was coming
You
from?
see, the generational gap does not stop them from making mistakes.
Yeah.
And we often have heard our parents say that what you would climb the tallest tree and not see, they will see it even lying down.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? So, yes, there is the generational gap, and I appreciate the submissions a lot. I think it's something that a lot of parents would begin to think about.
Yeah.
But before I come to you, Sefam and PK, let me go to Nicolina. Nicolina, can you hear us?
Yes, Adam, I can hear you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Nicolina.
Could I have some
Happy
support here?
birthday
I'd
to
like
Daniela.
you to, Daniela or Ransford, if you can come push the volume for us a bit so we in the studio can hear Nicolina very well. Okay, Nicolina, so I'd like you to take it from where, Olivia left off.
Yeah.
She has made a very important submission, and I appreciate it a lot. But I still want to find out, right? So for parents who have tried, like her, for instance, who has tried to breach that gap, okay, and you still have your children going wayward, not listening to sound and good counsel, and and some of them are very evident. You see them, you see the things they do, the things they have become, the mistakes they make, and sometimes these mistakes are
Costly.
I mean, it's a lifelong mistake you have made. When they are not listening, and they have to listen, what do you do?
Yeah, thanks once again. Last week I gave an acronym LOC, and then today I want to add E to it, which is love. Now, they are not listening, yes. They've made the mistakes, yes. The scars will be there. And what I tell my children is that whatever mistake you make is like having a sore. The sore will heal, but the scars will forever remain with you. And so if you're not listening, just get to know that the scars will remain with you.
Nicolina, hello Nicolina, could you position your camera very well, because we are putting you on TV as it is.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, I think it's better. It is. So let's keep it this way. Thank you.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that, yes, they didn't listen, but you need to let them know that whatever mistakes they make stays with them. The scars will be there forever. And so they might have committed some blunders, which you have seen. They themselves, I tell you, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, they will be feeling it. Now, you as a parent, don't give up on yourself and say, okay, you've done it. Assuming your 16, 17-year-old child comes home with pregnancy, what are you going to do? They didn't listen, yes. But will you throw them away? No. That is where the E comes in for me. How do you call it? The affection, the love that you will give them.
So what is
very,
the E?
very, very important. Sorry?
What is the E?
Empathy. Empathize with them, with what they are going through. Don't sympathize. Empathize with them, because one, they did not listen. Maybe you also did not do something right. I like what my sister just said. She was feeling it when she was going out there doing all those catwalk. She could hear the sound of her father with her. So I keep telling parents that you continue the talking. Just this week, I was discussing something at home. Sometimes parents feel that when my child goes to school, he or she will learn how to dress the bed. So you are not talking about dressing bed and helping them know how to dress the bed, clean their rooms, because when they go to secondary school, please, you need to start it. Because when they go to secondary school and the housemasters are on them to dress up and they are being punished for not dressing well, they won't hear any sound saying, I heard mommy, I heard daddy saying this. So empathize with them no matter the situation, and it's not late. Assure them. Now, we parents go bashing. When you do that, you will lose them rather forever and lead them into hiding. They are with you, but they are hiding. They will tell you nothing. There's whatever the issue is. For the parents that we discussed about, I want to tell them that it's not too late. But if you're having a challenge, getting through it, get a counselor and bring them closer. If you don't bring them closer, you don't empathize with them and show them love, I'm telling you, it will rather go bizarre, because they feel that you have given up on them. Never give up on your child, irrespective of what things or what situations they will find themselves in. Sometimes academically, they are not good. You don't give up on them. Get to know them better and know their areas of strength and begin to channel the positive energy that you have and you are observing. Yes, indeed, they are in their world of their own, they want to explore. It is this exploration that will lead your teenage girl to impregnating somebody, and we don't leave the boys out, because they also at a certain stage can impregnate. What do? You don't throw them away. Okay. You have to show them love and affection.
I am going to throw a question at you and Olivia. You should be thinking about it. I'll go have a word with the teachers and I'll come back to you. Now, let me paint this scenario to you. So you have a home, right? And I want to be very practical, because there are lots of single parents around us. So here's a single parent saddled with maybe 3 children to take care of. I'm doing my best. and every time I am having conversations with you. So yeah, Home Affairs and all other programs are preaching, make time for the children, spend time with them, get close to them, know them, don't abandon them. And we're doing all that, right? We're trying. You go to work, you come, you're tired, but you still make the time. You try to, all the things that we're saying. There are some parents who are really, really, really doing good at this. And then we start having the sexuality conversations, and I am telling you that, Madam, Master, hold on, pipe down. Because this thing, there will come a time you will negotiate. It is abundant, and you may not have the time. I mean, you may not have the time and the energy to even do it all the time. And I am letting you know the consequences that come with it. Then, you go and carry pregnancy, or you go and carry something bigger than pregnancy and come. You probably go and do this thing, and the worst happens. You have HIV, and you have to be on medication. You're sick and everything. I have 2 or 3 other siblings to take care of. Where is the empathy? How do I end up spending everything on you? And probably you and that's the pregnancy and the child you will just frustrate your parents. And practically these are some of the reasons why they will bundle you up and take you to the boy's parents, and whatever happens to you, they can't be bothered because they're there to do the there is not there. So please be thinking about it. At that point where practically, truthfully, I am unable to support you and all the problems you have brought, regardless of everything I have done, what happens? Now let me come to my teachers here. You know that some of the teachers, they worry us, right? some of the teachers, sometimes you wonder how Papa Kojo explained that sometimes, you didn't get to do the course you want to do. You didn't pass very well. The next available place is that, I can become a teacher in some private school that is looking to pay in some very cheap money. And so you end up becoming a teacher because you're able to speak 1 or 2 English, you're able to calculate 2 plus 2, and then you become a teacher. You don't have the morals for it. You don't have the attitude for it. You don't have the character for it. You see these young children, 12, 13, coming up, breasts are developing. They're beginning to have very beautiful curves and everything. And because you are morally and emotionally corrupt, you start preying on them. And then I think I am struggling as a parent and looking for money to take my children to school. And then when they come, you have found free meat. And you're coming to destroy the children. So now the issue about the teachers. What orientation must we give everybody? Or what, first of all, what must we be looking out for? Because not everybody goes to teacher training college anyway. So what must we be looking out for? Just as if you're taking your child to school. You will go and look through the school, you are looking out for this, do they have this? What must we look out for in people who come to say that I can teach and handle children before even employing them?
So,
yes, Safam.
So, with the universities and the teacher training colleges.
But I like us to, hindsight, subconsciously we're looking at people who are handling from that 12 thereabouts. Yes.
So we all understand that as a teacher, you are not just passing knowledge to the people or developing just the cognitive side of the child. You are nurturing that child holistically in terms of the values of that child, in terms of the attitudes, in terms of every other aspect of that child. So if you are a teacher, meaning that you are acting as a parent, you are acting as a supporter, somebody that supports the child, someone that nurtures that child to come up or to come out with values that are worthwhile. You are also a counselor. Every teacher is a counselor by default, whether you like it or yes. So whilst you are training as a teacher, what are some of the things you look out for when you are being trained in the universities? So you consider, okay, a child comes to you with issues. I was listening to the submission of my colleague here last week when he mentioned that a student came and where she started from, he had a way of going about it. It was interesting. Then I was thinking, imagine it backfires. which
On
is
whose side? The teacher's side? Or
both sides, which is very possible. But I also agree that students learn for us teachers. A student will be interested in
for the
you.
sake of those who are just listening, Pakojo, could you just briefly tell us that story? Because she alluded to it. Those who are just joining us today.
So good morning. So it's about one. As a teacher, you need to position yourself.
No, I just like you to tell us. She didn't finish her submission, so
fine.
that we go back
so,
to
so,
her.
so this student comes to me and says, Mr. Afo, I like the way you teach. The way you teach us to pronounce words, the way you go about your work, I like it. I said, okay, that's interesting. Can we be friends? I said, okay, friends as in. And she says, well, so I asked, friends as in, you want me to help you in extra lessons? She said, oh, yes, and more. I said, how can you be more? And then he actually opened up and said, you know what? I also want to start this. But I cannot date people who are blockheads. Now, that's because I know the student. I know her inside out. I may not apply the same strategy for another person. I know her. I know her interest is about relationships with those things. And these are the things you must know about your students. So I said, you know what? I want to do this. But first, let's move your grades up. When you come up, then we can start this whole thing. And she felt excited because I didn't turn her down. I had in a very subtle way accepted her request, but I knew what I was using it for. And so she agrees, she steps up her learning, she gets an AA star, and suddenly she realizes that, okay, I can actually do better than go into. She actually forgot about it. And so one day, after 2 years, when she started AS level, I said, but we have a conversation to complete. Oh, Mr. Afo, are you telling me I said this to you the last time? Mr. Afo, I'm more focused now.
Thank God.
You
So
know.
yes, that's
So
what Safam was alluding
Yeah,
to.
exactly. And someone will sit back and wonder, wow. So the question comes again, what if it backfires? Because I was
Which of the backfiring? What's
backfiring in the sense that the student learns for you
and still wants it?
and still wants it.
Flee.
and another thing too, as you get closer to other students, then they begin to have these jealous tendencies because they know that, okay, they've expressed interest in you. You've given them a platform indicating that, okay, perform well, and then we can think about the other aspects. So at the back of her mind, she is anticipating a relationship with you.
So I can imagine what you're saying, that if there is another brilliant child in the school and that child is getting close to the teacher, then the thinking is that this teacher only likes
Oh,
brilliant
yes.
kids. So once you're brilliant, it's very possible that he has his eyes on you.
So I was engaged in a conversation with a teacher who has been teaching in the UK for more than 20 years.
Wow.
So I asked him a question. I was like, how have you survived the system for all these while? And you haven't had anything. He was like, you can't befriend a student on any social media platform. I said, wow. Explain further. Then I said, don't you use WhatsApp to teach them? Don't you use other things? He says, yes, but the schools monitor every single aspect of it. So it doesn't matter whether they are not allowed to take phones to school or the phones are in their homes. But the moment as a teacher, you interact with a student off school hours, and something inside that conversation has got, what do you call it?
Something suggestive.
Suggestive. You are in trouble. But in Ghana here, what do we see?
They do, or they monitor the conversations.
I don't know how they go about it, but I think the school has got a way. And then he mentioned Google Child Safety 2019 or something like that, where everything that is happening is being monitored. So I went online and I was checking. Then I noticed that, Ghana Police too has got something for our children, just to track child trafficking, child sex slave and other things. But are we using it? When you go onto social media now, students, teachers are on WhatsApp. They are on Facebook. They are friends. So this university student will post a picture of herself in a bikini or whatever, and the lecturer or the teacher is watching, is seeing it. And they can even pass derogatory comments about it. Do we have these things here? So going back to your question, what do you look out for in a teacher coming to teach your word or something like that? Is the person sympathizing or empathizing with your student?
How would you know?
How would you know? you see, there are certain things that you can look at for the comments about the structure, the body of the, oh, you look good. Wow. Come, my girlfriend. I think we've discussed this on, what do you call it, Home Affairs several times. The comments that teachers or pass about your ward. You are my girlfriend. You are my boyfriend. This one is my special friend. And isolating them and giving them special treatment and all those things.
Those things should not be encouraged.
It should not be encouraged. It should not be encouraged. It should, in fact, it should not be encouraged in any way at all.
I see. This is, like I said, whenever we have these conversations, into it, I realize that it is even more difficult than, what you may be thinking when you came on the show, because lots of insights and experiences are shared on the show. If you're joining us, this is Home Affairs. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Joy Prime, and you can catch us on all our social media handles as well. Home Affairs is brought to us by the Korba Payments app. Korba, our life simplified. Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. Kel Kids Toothpaste for children between 2 and 6 years, a product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Kids, Happy Smile, and Amasha Partners Limited, your one-stop optical solution provider. PK.
Yep.
Teachers.
So, am I supposed to go?
Yes.
Well, I think that, for want of a better word, there's a misconstruction in the scenario I painted. Point is, I've said this, that if you are not going to be a step ahead of your students as a teacher, then you have no business being a teacher. My dear friends' comments are very welcome, and I know it happens. But you see, the point is, there shouldn't be any point in time where a teacher should engage a student in anything amorous. Point is, every child sees a parent figure in a teacher. Unless you make them think otherwise. Unless you make them think otherwise. So, especially in this day and age, there is no reason why I cannot engage my children on WhatsApp. If it's genuine, if it's healthy. And I'm encouraging all teachers, especially those in the secondary schools, who know their worth as teachers, to, with the permission of the school, engage children, not privately. In my school, we do in fact, on this phone, I've done a voice note lesson on literature, and I've sent it to my students, A-level students, because the curriculum is such that you may not be able to complete the syllabus. And so, the parents are on the platform with me. Good. And so, these things are there. Parents are involved in it. So, when I post the voice note, they know what is going on. So, I think that it all comes back to who the teacher is. Because even if the child comes and the child is even forcing you, he's a student. Or she's a student.
That's right.
You must know your left from your right. Now, on social media, of course, I agree that, and I work with the spelling bee, and I know that there's no point in time that you can engage any child on social media. You can't do that. It's internationally unacceptable. So that's a fact. But the point I'm trying to make is that when a parent brings their children to school for you to take care of them, it is because they see a father figure, a mother figure in you as a teacher. That is what a child wants. The child is an adolescent who will obviously go through all these challenging times. And if the parents are not there to support, the school is there. And the school should be able to monitor these children and help them. That is why last week I spoke about counseling units in our schools.
Yeah.
And so it's a very healthy mix of giving teachers orientation and positioning them well to play their role. I think that one of the things we have also refused to understand is we have actually, if you like, misdefined the word teacher. We have narrowed the word teacher down to be one who stands in the classroom, as I alluded last week, and then teaches. Now, there are some parents who have a problem with you even trying to advise the student on A, B, C, D. But again, it comes back to the teacher. How have you positioned yourself in the school for the parent to even engage you to see that, okay, without, even if I'm not there, there's a teacher. I've been bringing students to this studio.
Yeah.
And all I do is I pick a phone. I said, hello, Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. There's a program on Joy if I want my students to. Oh, Mr. Afo, come and take them away. It is because of trust. And I'm not claiming I'm the best teacher, but I create relationships, healthy relationships with my students. The parents should be able to see you as a father. And I've said that if you are a parent and your child doesn't have you, your 6, 7, 8-year-old child or 10, doesn't see you as the first role model, there's a problem. They must see their mom as the one they are looking up to first. After all, we say charity begins at home. Let them see you as somebody they aspire to be. Not necessarily being in the profession you find yourself in, but they should see you as the first person they can come to when there's a problem. Then they can look outside. The challenge is when we fail to position ourselves to play this role, that's when they now look for options outside. Let's before I end, Adam, let's understand this. There's nobody in this world who's born corrupt. It's the society. The society. The media, teachers, parents,
friends,
clergy.
Yeah.
Look, let me spoil this mood a little. I feel quite drawn into this. 2 days ago, I heard on social media that there was a 6-year-old unfortunately being defiled.
I hate to
I don't
hear
know what-
stories like that.
Okay. That's the
No,
reality.
just go on. But I mean,
There was a 6-year-old being defiled. And then there was a 40-something-year-old man who was actually filming. Now listen. He was filming for evidence instead of stopping the action.
that is what we have become.
And that's why I'm saying the society. And when we see these things, when I send it to Adam shares it. Instead of condemning it and condemning me, you understand me? This is how we make people corrupt. So everybody's attention is on nudity.
You see
Let me
people,
sound this warning.
people drowning, and you want to record them
Before.
other
Before
than
you
helping them.
save them.
Look, I use the motorway every day to Tema. There's an unfortunate issue of an accident, and people have actually stopped and filming. This is the kind of society we live in. And when you say, they say, don't say it. Adam, let's go back and look at the kind of training, the kind of society. What are we worshipping? Are we worshipping wealth? Are we worshipping fame? What are we worshipping as a society? GES, and I'm not going to mention anybody's name. Let a teacher in a public school, and I'm saying public school because I don't teach in a public school.
I do.
We have a system when you misbehave, you are thrown out. You are not going to be transferred to any place. Let a teacher unfortunately get himself or herself in this mess. The last thing you do is teaching in another place instead of getting the person out
Out
of
of
the
the
system.
system.
Now, so it means that where the teacher is being transferred to, the teacher can go there and do the same thing there. This is the reality we live in, Adam. And we all cannot get money to send our children to IGCSE schools. We can't.
It's sad.
That is why we must fight the system.
It's sad.
Continuous orientation, Adam.
And the counseling sessions.
And the
We'll
counseling
come back. We're taking a short break. We will be right back to continue the conversation.
Adriani dede yeko shadia odianwae onga chicken tablet Adriani dede yeko shadia odianwae onga chicken tablet why you me do why me do onga chicken tablet inke testi me onga chicken tablet cook on who give me Adriani dieseweni onga dielele onga chicken tablet
Introducing the new Onga Chicken Tablet.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Ophebia, did you brush your teeth before eating?
No, mommy. Anytime I use daddy's toothpaste, I get bruises in my mouth and sometimes I feel like vomiting.
That's not an excuse. As a child, you need to brush your teeth before you take your breakfast to avoid tartar and cavity, okay? And you, why are you laughing at your sister? Have you brushed your teeth?
Yes, Mom. I used the Kel Kids toothpaste you brought yesterday to brush my teeth.
Well done, darling. Kel Kids toothpaste is made for kids like you from 2 years to 6 years.
It was so sweet like strawberry. I even wanted to eat it, Mom.
No, you can't eat it. It's toothpaste, not toffee, okay? It's always advisable to give your kids Kel Kids toothpaste to brush their teeth. Kel Kids toothpaste strengthens teeth and prevents decay and cavities. As a mother, I always make sure my kids use Kel Kids toothpaste. Kel Kids toothpaste with strawberry flavor makes brushing exciting for our kids.
Kel, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hollandia Eva Milk. It's time to wake up now. Starts a new day made for more. What will make you feel like wow? Seize the day, go get what you stand for. Hollandia Eva Milk.
Start your day right with tasty and creamy Hollandia Evap milk, fortified with vitamin B12 and calcium in a convenient resealable pack. Hollandia Evap milk, making your mornings so much better. Anopa ayede. This advert is FDA approved.
Hollandia Anopa ayede.
Thank you very much for staying with us. This is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. We're also on Joy Prime. We're also live on our social media handle, so you can check us out on all these places and follow the conversation. We have been talking about schools, studies, sex, and beyond. This is the second week. We started the conversation last week. My guest this morning, Mr. Emmanuel Ashford Afo. He is a teacher with DPS International. I have Sefam Lot Mensa. She is a teacher. And I have Olivia Ariel, the wellness coach. She is a parent. Today she is, in that capacity. And then Nicolina Adumo is joining us via Zoom. She is a parent as well. They have a very difficult question to answer for me very soon. But before then, do you know about the new Delicious? Oh yes, Ongalicious is the new Delicious. Create those amazing moments with your favorite Onga seasoning. No matter your cooking experience, Onga is a delight to make great tasting meals in every home. Onga is convenient to use and bring out that great taste and aroma in your meals. Let's toast to the new Onga chicken tablet with superior taste and comforting aroma for all your chicken meals. Onga, Mama's helping hand. Onga, proudly Ghanaian. Connect with the team at Onga on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Onga Ghana. And everyone can use Koba. It's got a payment channel for the big bosses, the market woman, the mechanic, the cocoa seller, and the small shop owner. Sit back, relax, and simply pay for your Old Students Association dues and contributions. Transfer funds across all bank accounts or mobile money wallets. Top up airtime and data. Pay your insurance, your TV subscription, utility bills, pay school fees, and pay for that WAAKYE. Watch it. Do all these and more on Koba and get a free life insurance cover with Prudential Life while you transact your business on Koba. Use Koba and enjoy life's little pleasures. Download the app on the App Store or Play Store, or you can do it via the WhatsApp channel 0242426186, or just dial *365# and follow the prompts. Koba, our lives simplified. Koba is spelled KORBA. And Riverman Productions goes back to the theater. in partnership with Joy FM and National Theatre, Riverman Productions is back with Uncle Ibo White's latest mind-blowing play, The Devil's Wife. I wish we had time. Daniela, you'd have come to do excerpts for us in the studio because she is the devil's wife. That is so exciting. Congratulations, girl. Meet Zoe, beautiful Zoe, beautiful rich parents, a star in her own right, but 3 men who made the mistake of falling in love and marrying her died on the wedding night before they could consummate their marriage. This one there is hard. And meet Reverend Kweku Kom, intelligent, beloved pastor and a rising star in his own right. But the girl he was going to marry 5 years ago died a few days to the wedding. And now, Reverend Kom is determined to marry Zoe. Someone must die. But who will do the dying? Devil's Wife shows on September 4th. So today, tomorrow, 11th and 12th at the National Theatre, Accra at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. So the 80 CDs. I am doing 8 p.m. tonight. And it's all because of The Devil's Wife. My producer is The Devil's Wife. I am so excited. Like, you know, you see the star in the play and you know that, oh, this person, I know her. I can actually call her and just WhatsApp her. I am too privileged. All COVID protections, all COVID protocols will be observed. Tickets are available at the front desk of Joy FM, Shell Shops at Airport, East Legon, Tema Community 11, Achimota and Dansuman, Total Filling Stations at Bachona and Hacho. Say cheers at Accra Mall and Frankie's Osu. The tickets can also be bought online by simply dialing *713 *5 # and follow the prompts. For enquiries, 05055461010. WhatsApp 05055460330. Or email info@rivermanproductions.com. Sponsors: Total Family Health Organization, Daffin Finance, GHQ, powered by Ghana Interbank Payments and Settlement Systems Limited, Gibbs, Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy Prime, and Daily Guide newspaper. Get your Riverman tickets for The Devil's Wife now. Riverman Productions, be the difference. And one more time. Now, your eyes deserve the best care and quality. Designer eyeglasses and Amasha Partners Limited Eye Care has it all. You know, when I hear frames and all those things, I become very excited. My daughter once told me, "Hey, mommy, this is your small eye problem. You have turned it into a fashion." And Amasha, in addition to general treatment, you can test your sight, purchase designer frames, lenses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and you can even consult an ophthalmologist. Locate them at La Opposite Trade Fair, Spencer's adjacent ICGC, before Community 18 Junction, Tema Community 1 at Meridian Plaza, Kolebu, opposite ECGC, and McCarthy Hill, opposite Ben J Lodge. North Kanishi, Swan Lake, opposite Green Hand Junction, Achimota First Floor, Dainswa Plaza, Takrady Axim Road, Ho, opposite Housing Junction, Kumasi Airport Roundabout, and Koforidua at the Central Hospital Road. For all your eye care challenges, contact Amasha Partners Limited on 0302939850, 0303962226, and 0235331662. Also follow them on at Amasha Eye Care on Facebook and Instagram. All right, back into our conversation. Olivia, please go first.
On your question.
Yes.
Okay, the hard question.
It is a very important question for a lot of parents.
Okay.
And I've had people send me those messages just even from last week.
Okay. Good question. So I'll start from a spiritual perspective that everybody is here on a purpose. Everybody comes with a destiny. And from your spiritual values as a parent, that is where your parenting style and your parenting goals also come from. What are your spiritual values? As our sister on the, I've forgotten her name. Nicolina said, you can't say my daughter got pregnant and so I'm abandoning my child. If you can do that, it comes from your spiritual
No, I'm not
values.
abandoning you. I'm taking you
To wherever, whatever choice you make depends on your spiritual values. Maybe you can't financially support the child, and that's why you are taking that decision. But I want to say that children and even adults, everybody have a story that they come with. Everybody has a calling, a challenge, a path to travel. And so sometimes as a parent, you may want to align your children or people through a particular path, but you may not win. There's something that is a God-given thing, that is spiritual, that is God, that we don't have control over. And that is destiny, purpose, calling on people's life as they come into the world. And so sometimes people's trials, the bad start can be their journey to wherever they are going. And so for me as a parent, if I hit that road, what will come into my mind is, what is the good in this thing for my child? And so since I believe that all things work together for good as my value, I'm going to stand to see the good that I can take out of this for my child. This is where I'm going to start from. So it is from a spiritual perspective as well as a parent, where your values are, how you make your choices and your decisions, and what you do when you find yourself in such a case.
Well, looking at very practical situations.
Yes, this is very practical for me. But you make your choices via your values. Everyday choice you make is based on the values you live with. Whether you are a kind person, you are patient, you are loving, you are understanding, those are the force that makes you make one choice to go either this way or that way. And for me, I always believe there's something good in everything, no matter how bad it can be.
Alrighto.
And so, hey, we found ourselves here. How can we turn it to make a good story and become a victory out of it instead of becoming a victim out of it? This is where I stand.
So ultimately, no matter what, you do not throw the child
No,
out.
I won't throw you out. We're going to go through it together as a parent. I might have faltered somewhere too. So if I had found ourselves here, how do we all go through it and travel the journey to see the end, the good that is supposed to come out
They
of
would
it?
have learned the hard way.
Well, it still would be hard. It still will be some
No, I'm
lessons
saying
in there.
that those will be some very hard lessons for you.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with you that by the time you finish going through that,
Yeah, you will learn. You will
not
have
sure
a
you make
story
any
to
mistake.
tell.
You make
Yeah.
any mistake, you will not even overeat
Yeah,
again.
you'll have a story to tell.
Yes, Nicolina.
Yeah, Adam, thank you very much. In fact, yes, you will have a story to tell, and that is why you don't have to give up, but empathize and put yourself together first as the mother, and you spoke about single parenting here. It is very difficult, but put yourself together and know that there is hope for the future, and there is that good. I'll share a story with you. I have a cousin.
Nicolina, you have just 1 minute.
Yeah, a cousin who went through such a thing. That child that was not abandoned with her is now a lawyer as I speak with you. So there are so many situations and instances that will call for you having sanity first. Bring your child together and say, look, this has happened. The scar will be on you, but let's see how we can go on and go forward with this. And with God, all things are possible.
Amen. Let me come back to my teachers. We need to wrap up on our teachers now. So finally, to parents and to students who may be listening, because it's okay if they are listening to this conversation, what do we tell them? Your advice to parents, to the students and the teachers. If you can do that in about a minute, we'll be glad.
Okay, we have to acknowledge the fact that parenting is not isolated, in the sense that you can't do it all by yourself. It's a collaboration among you, the parents, the teachers, and the community that you find yourself. So in as much as we have relegated that cultural practice where someone's child is your child, so if you're not there, you can caution another person's child or put the person right or even help that child. There's a way of going about it again. If a student comes to school and that child is not performing well, and as a teacher, you have the avenue to interact with the parents at home and call them for both of you to dialogue how best to help that student. Why not? You have to do it. It's not common in the public schools. You have this in private and international schools where they have parent-teacher conference and where you can call the parents in and have a one-on-one discussion on your child's performance. But in the public schools, you don't have that. You have to be a teacher in a certain terrain or arena or mindset to go extra mile, to call a parent to come and then have that discussion. But they don't even come. For where I teach, you don't get that. You can call them several times. They won't even bother. PTAs, they won't come. So we have to learn that when it comes to parenting and effective parenting for that matter, or effective teaching, it has to be a collaboration among these, pillars. I call them societal pillars, where the community plays a role, where the school itself plays a role, where the parents are involved. Because research has proven that parental involvement, not just paying of fees, but involvement in the child's learning experiences, goes a long way for that student to perform extremely well. So we need to create that atmosphere as well.
And to add to what you said, it's important for the children to also know that they also have responsibilities.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
the teachers have theirs, the parents have theirs, the authorities have theirs, government have theirs, and you as a child, you have your responsibilities as well. And finally from you, PK.
Well, thank you, Adam. Between the child, who is a student, the parent, and the teacher or the school, the common denominator is the child, no matter what.
Exactly.
Now, I am empowering all parents to know the teachers of their children inside out. It is your right to find out the background of who teaches your child. There's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
You have to demand. You can go to the principal or go to the headmaster and desire to know who teaches my child.
I see.
Because I cannot entrust my child into someone who I don't trust. I mean, yes, the school hires teachers, but it is my child who's going to be under the care of the teacher. I should have the right to know. I mean, I cannot, for example, if you called me for an extra class, I'm assuming you would have done your homework about me before coming to me. And so you have the right. There are schools which have parents demanding that certain teachers be removed because of A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I am saying that if you don't have the empathy, as Nicolina said, to be a teacher, you have no business being in the classroom.
That's it.
We must stop this whole idea of, okay, it's okay to have a quack doctor. It's okay to have a quack accountant. Why is it not
okay to have quack teachers?
Quack teacher. Why don't you weed them out?
It's sad, but I think that we have made a lot of progress with this conversation. You know, we have been able to talk about how important it is for parents to be involved. I have actually learned one thing. I picked up something Pakojo just said. Demanding to know the background of the people who teach your children. Because when you're not there, for all the 8 hours or so they stay in school, you are not there, and someone else is inculcating values into them. Who is that person doing the work for you? The energy we put into looking for nannies and chaperones and house helps and all those things to help at home, I think we should be doing that as well. And that for me is very, very, very instructive. Thank you very much. And we also learned here this morning that no matter the situation, you do not give up on your child. Go through the pain with them together. They will learn and become better tomorrow. And Safam has also stressed on the fact that it is very, very, very important that we work together. It's a collaboration. So you don't leave it for the teachers, you don't leave it for the parents, but we all will have to come together to be able to shape the children and see them in the light in which we have envisioned. Thank you very much, Olivia, Safam, Pakojo, and Nicolina on Zoom. God bless you so, so, so much. The next conversation I want us to have, though, will be looking at when can we start introducing our children to dating, relationship? When is it now okay?
Bring the adolescents.
Yes. They will come and have their say. When is it okay right now? And what steps do you put in place to make sure that, because you tell them, oh, don't do it. Until when can they start
clashes already? They're having clashes.
Let them have the conversation.
Yes. So we will have that conversation and then we'll bring the adolescents back into the studio. But finally, there's a message I want to show you. Yes. Do you know about the new delicious Onga Ongalicious is the new delicious. Create those amazing moments with your favorite Onga seasoning. No matter your cooking experience, Onga is a delight to make your meals very great in your homes. Onga is convenient to use and it brings out the great taste and aroma in your meals. Let's toast to the new Onga chicken tablet with superior taste and comforting aroma for all your chicken meals. Mama's Helping Hand, Onga Proudly Ghanaian. Find them at Onga Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you very much for being my guest this morning. My name is Adam Naitite. Always a pleasure to be serving family lessons with you here on Home Affairs, where our mandate is to help make homes out of houses. Daniela, one more time, belated happy birthday to you, and we will be there to see the devil's wife and see how you do magic. Have a very, very beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
Next week she will have a cake.
Oh, sure. We'll have a party for her next week.
Very well, next week she will have. Bye to everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Roverman goes back to the theater in partnership with National Theatre and Joy FM. Roverman Productions presents Devil's Wife.
So for the last time, Zoe, will you marry me?
Why? No, it's not possible. It must not be.
Miss Bedu, I love you. I love you, Zoe.
No, Asafu.
Zoe.
No, please.
Will you marry me?
No, Asafu, he'll kill you. You'll die.
Wait, who is he? Tell me.
I don't know.
Zoe, don't hold back now.
I said I don't know.
Devil's Wife shows at the National Theatre on September 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th. Time 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Rates 80 Ghana cedis. Tickets available at *713 *5 *5#. And at Joy FM, Shell Shops at Airport, Tama Community 11, and Dansuman, Hacho, and Bachuna Total. Frankie's, Osu, and